Hello, Bailey. How the devil are you?
Hello.
Yeah, we did try and have a meeting yesterday, didn't we? But both of us got times mixed up. So unexpected pleasure today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, here in sunny Liverpool. Before we talk about your poetry, can you tell us a bit about yourself? Where you're from, what you do for fun outside of writing, what your hobbies are, I don't know, where you go for travel, anything?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Bailey and I'm from Canada, the very cold Canada.
Is it cold at the moment? Is it your summertime there now? Is it the same as the UK? You're in the
No,
winter
it's
season?
winter. Yeah, it's winter.
Okay.
It's just well, it's
Yeah.
fall-ish.
Yeah.
So it's getting cold.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm from Canada and I write poetry. Based on my experience living with mental health issues.
Okay.
But other than writing poetry, I'm not very interesting. um,
Sure you are.
I write and I write and I write.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Were you given like a presentation yesterday? I know you had a meeting at 5:30. How did that go? Can you
Yes,
tell us about that?
yeah. So I was giving a talk at a library in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that
Tell
was
me about you.
cool. That
You
was
got
fun.
two books of poetry. Oh, before we mention the title to things, are you self-published? Have you gone down the indie route, or are you with a publisher at the moment?
No, I'm self-published.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it all myself.
Yeah. So you got total control. Did you create the book covers?
Sorry, did I?
Did you design the book covers? I know I've got
Oh
one behind me
yeah,
now.
I
I
did.
thought
I did. Yes.
you can't see the title linear, but it's somewhere there above my head. And the same for the many personalities of me. Same, you designed the
Yes.
book cover. Did you do all
Yes.
the typesetting and formatting and things for Amazon?
I did everything.
Did you struggle with that at all? I know I did with my book.
I it was very hard. Writing the book was the easy part. The formatting and the editing was the difficult part.
Yeah,
Putting the book together was the difficult part.
yeah, yeah. Paperback at the moment, they're both available on Kindle.
Yeah, they're available everywhere basically. Amazon, they're on Kindle, Goodreads, um, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
They're available lots of places.
In the UK, I think the equivalent to Barnes and Noble would be Waterstones. That's our sort
Okay.
of a major retail outlet.
Okay.
The first one then, was it Linear or The Many Personalities of Me, which was the first book?
So the first one was The Many Personalities of Me.
Yeah. And in this, you mentioned that you've had personal struggles with health issues and physical issues. How are you now? Are
Yes.
you sort of on top of all that now? Is it this ongoing?
So I struggle with depression and other mental health issues and some physical issues. But I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, well, thank you. So yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah.
So are these like sort of personal insights of the feelings and the emotions that you've been through on this struggle?
Right. Yeah. So the poems that I write for the book are poems about, um, like my struggle with depression and the things that I go through and the emotions that I feel. A lot of the poems that I wrote in the book I actually wrote when I was having panic attacks
Yeah.
and when I was going through severe depression.
Was this a way of helping control? Did that sort of calm you down away from the panic attack? As I know it's,
Yeah.
I've touched wood, I've only had experience of that once in my life, but it's a feeling like I was going to die. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think I would have had the composure to sit down and write about that, but I can see it would have helped.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was very helpful. It was easy actually for me to just sit there and write what I was feeling and going through at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
it
you
was very
have you
easy.
found have you had feedback? Have you found that this has helped others going through a similar feelings?
You know, that's like the best part about writing this book is that I've had so many messages from people who have said that the books have helped them and helped them feel less alone, and made them feel like somebody understands.
Yeah.
So that's just the best feeling.
Are you getting support? Have you got family and friends who you available to chat to?
Oh yes, I have loads of support.
I know we chat to each other on Twitter. Is there other social media that you use? Are you constantly on Twitter, Facebook?
So Twitter is the only social media that I have. I did have Facebook, but I'm not a fan of it, so I got rid of it.
I found that it's mainly about my friends or family, where they're having a meal that particular evening, or where they are on holiday.
Yeah.
Rather than, I like the short, the small edit that you need for Twitter. You're allowed so many words, so you have to sort of be concise and in a way edit what you're actually writing.
Right.
In your poetry, do you touch on the neuroscience? I don't want to get too heavily on this. Like, you talk about things like the amygdala and things that sort of deep within your brain that sends chemical stuff around you to make you depressed or happy or otherwise.
Yeah.
Have you made a study of this?
No, I had to look that up.
I did. To be honest, I read one of your poems, Brief Look, yesterday, and I had to go away and Google it myself. Did I pronounce that correctly, do you think?
Yes,
amygdala.
Amygdala, yeah.
Yeah. Is it just poetry that you're writing? Have you ever gone down the writing a novel route? You thought about that?
Oh God. I have tried to write other things like short stories and novels, but that doesn't go well with me.
Okay.
So poetry is what comes easy to me and what comes naturally to me. So that's what I stick with.
Okay. That's your medium.
Yes.
How about putting words to music? Have you thought about that? Have you had any musical inclination?
I'd like to think so, but that's something that I've never thought of before, but there you go. You're onto something.
Yeah, oh, good. I'm hoping that to inspire you. Do you have a favorite poem?
Yes, I do, and it's called Cereal.
Cereal. Would you
Yes.
fancy having a read of that now? Given a
Sure.
It's okay if you don't, but if it's nearby and you feel comfortable.
So Cereal is actually in linear.
Okay.
Yeah, so that just recently came out. And Serial is about my struggle with anxiety and control, and sometimes issues with food and stuff like that. So that's what Serial is about, and it's a very deep poem. So yeah, so that's my favorite. But I have the many personalities of me right here with me, so I can pick one.
Yeah, whichever.
I can pick a favorite from here.
Bailey, just to let me understand, you said problems with food. What's that? Is that with not having an appetite, or you don't feel like eating, or eat too much?
Yes. Well, no. See, with depression, I kind of lose my appetite sometimes.
Okay.
Don't really have an appetite.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I struggle with that, with eating sometimes.
Doesn't your stomach tell you otherwise? Doesn't your stomach shout at you? Or does that go?
Yeah, it's different. It's interesting because the disconnect between my stomach and my brain, my stomach is like, feed me, and my brain is like, so let me see. I'm trying to pick a favorite. My goodness. Okay. So I'm just gonna pick one.
Okay.
I know, I'm just gonna pick one. Okay. So this one is called Lost.
Okay, I'll shut up. I'll sit back.
Okay. It's a bit, actually, no, it's not too long. Okay. So, okay. She's gotten a little lost along the way, lost along her 20-something year journey. These shadows follow her everywhere. She wishes they would just go away. Feeling like a lost little blue jay, lost along the path of worry, fearing a shadow of a person she won't want to be one day. Lost on the road with the path leading one way, She wants to be a Wendy. Why grow up in such a hurry? A child, she wants to stay. Beauty like Snow White I'll have, she prays. Her life has been a bit blurry. She's hoping that will change someday. The cloud floating above her head is gray, always feeling of fury. She isn't promised another day. On her pillow her head lay, wiping her tears in a scurry, pretending to be okay, lost in the pillow of her worries.
Brilliant.
So that one was called Lost.
Yeah. It's about a loss of childhood. What do you think?
Yes.
References there, isn't it? Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's about. Because I have medical issues growing up, I spent a lot of time in hospitals and stuff.
Yeah. Was this physical issues?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually wheelchair bound.
Barely. I wouldn't have known. Obviously, I can't see where you're sitting.
You know what? No, not a lot of people know that. It's not something that I talk about widely when I talk about my books.
Okay.
So yeah, so I have a lot of medical issues related to that. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time in hospitals and going through surgeries and all that kind of stuff.
Is that all in the past now? Are you? I don't know.
Oh yes.
That's nothing
all in the
major.
past.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So yeah, so I missed out on a lot of childhood things. So that's what that poem's about.
Okay, it's quite beautiful. You get much? You get many reviews. You're getting people saying, "Yeah, thanks for this." You know, I wanted to help me express the way I've been feeling.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages and reviews like that, and it's really nice. It's weird to think that something that I wrote has impacted somebody like that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of writing, isn't it? You know, touching across the universe. Oh, you sent me a message saying, "Did you also speak to poets?" Oh, can I ask you? You're a lady who writes poetry. Are you a poet or a poetess?
Oh, that's I guess I would be a poetess.
Yeah.
Poetess. Oh, that sounds so posh.
Any message that you'd have for people who sort of want to go down the same route, who think that they've got some poems inside the head and they want to get their story out there? What advice would you give them? What encouragement would you give them?
Oh boy, like I would say, I mean, if you have any message that you want to get across, just to do it, you know, just stop thinking about it and just do it. Because that's the problem I faced, was that I thought about it so much and it took me years to do. Yeah. Because I was thinking so much about doing it that I didn't do it.
Was it the fact that you didn't have you feel as though you didn't have the confidence, as though the writing wouldn't be strong enough to sort of to get an audience?
Yeah, that too. But I think you just have to put yourself out there and not worry so much about that at first. Yeah. Just put yourself out there, and I'm sure everything will be okay. And you know, trust that your writing is well received. And then worry about all the other stuff after. Like worry about the you know, the editing and the promoting and all that stuff after. Like first, just worry about getting yourself out there.
Yeah. Did you find you had encouragement as you've been writing? I read, I think on your website, that you've been writing since you're a young girl. Did you have encouragement from teachers and family and friends?
Yes, I did. I was very lucky, actually. My parents were very encouraging, and you know, English teachers were very encouraging. So I was very lucky in that respect. But for some, I mean, not everyone might have that same you know, response from people. Yeah. So I would just say to just, you know, trust yourself and do it. Yeah. And because I believe in you.
Yeah. Well, that's a brilliant message. I know when I say to people, you know, I talk to writers or I talk to people who've not written, a lot of people say, "Oh, I've got a book idea in my head." And I say to them, you know, you can't tap a desk with an idea in your head. Get it on paper.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the hard part, is getting it from your head onto the paper. But you just have to just write. Yeah. Just write write exactly what you want to write, and then worry about everything else after.
What's your writing routine? Do you write it? Do you handwrite it first and then type it up, or how do you do it?
I do. I handwrite it first.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school, you know, notebook and pen, you know.
And I start the edit once I type it up, and then it looks,
Right, exactly.
it looks.
See, I write notebook and pen, and then see, kids today don't know what a notebook and pen is. I write notebook and pen, and then I just chicken scratch, and then I go over it after, and then after like 5 or 6 edits on the paper, I then type it up.
Yeah. What we've got at the moment, what's your work in progress? Are you working on a third anthology?
I've actually been writing a lot of poetry. I set a goal for myself to write 1 poem every day in November.
Yeah.
So I'm collecting poetry for my next book, but okay. I just put linear out, so I'm not in a rush to complete, you know, a next book. I'm taking my time.
Yeah. When you say you're collecting, I'm thinking of the title of one of the other books, you know, The Many Personalities of Me. Is this one of your personalities going around and collecting these things, telling yourself you've got this daily goal?
Yeah, so when I came up with the title, The Many Personalities of Me, when I thought of personalities, I thought of my different mental health issues, like depression, anxiety, and I thought of those as my personalities, because I'm a totally different person when I'm depressed compared to when I'm anxious, compared to when I'm feeling healthy. Yeah. So I just thought of those as personalities. So that's where I came up with the title.
Yeah, if I think of somebody as being anxious and depressed, I think of them the same thing. But is there a marked difference between the two emotions, anxiety and depression?
For me, I'm a totally different person. Like when I'm depressed, I shut down and I just don't want to talk to anybody. And you know, I sit in my room. But when I'm anxious, I'm like the complete opposite. You know, I'm very jittery and I'm very, I want to talk to people, and I feel like I've had a million cups of coffee.
Oh, just shaky, wired up.
Yeah.
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 How do you get over that? Is it just, do you know now that, right, this will pass? Was it medication, or is there some kind of self?
Yeah, so I've done years of therapy. And so I've learned many different tools to self-soothe. Yeah. So, you know, deep breaths and calming, you know, like talking to myself. Yeah. In calming ways. And you know, stuff like that. Different breathing techniques really help. So I've found many different ways to help myself.
Really enjoyed it. Thanks for your time, Bailey.
Thank you so much.
And you take care.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, let's keep in touch on Twitter, as we do.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Oh, that camera's a better angle now. You just moved it. That's a better angle.
Damn it.
Oh, I should have said that at the beginning.
I know.